And we're live, streaming with the footsteps of New York City. We are Music Matters with Jason Tramm. Thank you so much for joining us for a unique podcast community where we explore the triumphs and challenges of the performing arts world as seen through the eyes of distinguished colleagues. On Music Matters, we featured multiple genres from classical, opera, indie singer-songwriter, rock and roll, hard rock, rap, and everything in between. You will hear a Broadway singer one night and a classical soloist another night, next to a heavy metal artist. I love that conversation across genres. My name is Jason Tramm, and I'm a conductor, music director, university professor, and a lover of music. So I can't wait to discuss with you. And remember that you can chat with our guests today. Join us in the chat feature and ask questions or make comments. We love to see that. And you can subscribe to us on YouTube and smash that bell icon with them for the most up-to-date information on our upcoming guests and topics. We love it when you like and share our videos, and feel free to make a super chat or two if you'd like as well. So we have a wonderful guest today. We have Matt and Andrew Como from the Como Brothers Band. And they are singers, songwriters, and performers from Long Island who are passionate about their songwriting, heartfelt lyrics, and original recording music. They combine pop and rock, easy listening sounds with a bluesy vibe, and have recorded and with multiple albums and EPs of original songs. Their latest songs have been recorded with Grammy-nominated engineer Kenta Yonesaka at Germano Studios in New York City. They've toured all over the East Coast, and they played the Hard Rock Cafe, the Cutting Room in New York City, along with performances around the country, from Hollywood's California to Texas' South by Southwest, Florida, Boston, New York City, and beyond. They've also been featured in TV shows such as the E! Network's Keeping Up with the Kardashians. We'll definitely talk about that on the show. MTV's The Real World, and others as well. So welcome to Andrew and Matt Como.
How's it going? Thanks for having us.
So glad. Guys, I discovered your music through Reverb Nation, and I'm like, man, these guys have a great sound, a great ensemble, and some really catchy hook songs.
Awesome. Thank you. I'm glad you're liking it.
You know, it's always amazing when I look for artists who grab my attention. As a classical guy, I'm always like looking for real people with good craft and good skills, and I really like your music.
Thank you. Yeah, no, we tried, we've been going at it now for about 10 years as the Como brothers, and we're always just trying to write a better song.
Now, when did you start performing together?
We started playing together probably around 2010-ish, I would say. We started, with cover bands and stuff like that, and then we gravitated towards, just writing our own stuff.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
And do you come from a musical family?
Yeah, our
dad plays, our uncle plays. Yeah, we kind of do. I mean, we're brothers, so we've kind of always had that interest. I actually started a little late playing. I was watching Andrew jam cover bands in high school and stuff, and then towards the end of high school, I kind of picked it up more seriously, I would say.
Right.
I dabbled before then, but yeah, I was like a little bit of a late bloomer, and then I was all into it. But and Andrew started a little bit earlier.
Right.
And I love the set, your harmonies and the way you kind of link together. Did you know there was something magical there when you started performing together?
I don't know. We just kind of, we thought we had catchy.
Did we know there was something magical? I love that question. I don't think we've ever been asked that.
We've never been asked that. I think we just,
I don't think we did know that.
I don't know if we had anything magical, but I think we knew that, like,
we knew we loved it.
Or I think we just had like a cockiness, even when the songs weren't great. Like these are great songs, and I think that was good to have. We almost had that before we had the playing skills and the singing skills. We had a cockiness about our songwriting, even when it wasn't there. But I think that allowed us to just, keep trying to dive in and write a better song.
To grow into it, right? Because it takes years to really hone your craft as both artists.
Oh, yeah, no. It allowed us, it gave us, our own grace to grow into it, and and then I think our songwriting came, before our singing and playing, and that made us want to sing better and play better.
I think that's something though. Most people I think start on their instrument. We started with songs before we were even proficient at any instrument. We were
right.
We were always inspired mostly by, I know like a lot of people are, but like the Lennon-McCartney type of thing. And we were like, oh, I want to make a timeless song. And that was always our goal. And then we had to like practice to catch up to the songs at a certain point where
the
songs were better than we could do at a certain point.
Yeah.
That's what's really cool when you guys have a discography that goes back a long time you can listen to. I always tell my students also that music's like an amber that traps everything that's going on around it. So when you hear your older songs, what do you guys think?
Well, I think, I hope nobody listens to this first. That's the first thing I think.
Yeah, that's true. That's true.
No, I mean, I'm always, I think that's with everybody though. You think that your latest stuff really represents you, but it's cool to look back and to see like, what you were thinking at a specific point in time.
I love to go back and listen to artists that I really enjoy and see the development and hear the trends and hear as new influences come in. And I just think that's such a cool thing. So hope your fans feel the same way, because sometimes I'm always like, when I listen to old recordings, no one likes to listen to old recordings of themselves. I don't personally. But when I do once in a while, I'm like, oh, that was actually really good. I didn't like that, but I like that.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, definitely. What do you play?
I'm a conductor, so I'm a classical conductor. So I started on viola, but I also play piano, and I was a singer.
Very cool.
Nice.
Very nice.
Now I play the orchestra. I have lots of different groups I conduct, and I get in front of people and make them play.
I love that. Play the orchestra. I love that.
But I love that. I love working with people. Really, it's a lot of psychology involved when I go and I guest conduct, and I don't know anybody, and sometimes I don't even speak their language, and I have to kind of make it work.
Right. That's awesome.
But, the old adage about music being the universal human language, there's a lot of truth to that. When we all have the same common purpose, it's so funny how all the national boundaries and borders kind of fade away and that kind of common humanity comes out.
Oh, yeah. That's really cool. Well, there's like there's a math to it, also to music where it's almost like it's a science, but it's not, you know what I mean? So...
There's the art. That art is kind of blurs the boundaries, which I love about art. It doesn't. It's like even a song that you may have written for a specific purpose, or let's say whatever the purpose may be in your lives. Whenever someone else hears it, it has a totally different meaning to them because we all imprint some of ourselves on the art.
Right.
Yeah. No, I totally feel that.
What do you guys feel like when you have a very large streaming presence and YouTube presence? So when people see and hear your music, what's it like when you get people from around the world commenting?
I mean, it's awesome. I mean, we had, we have people in the Philippines that really like us and stuff like that. But it's just really cool because we're just some kids from Long Island that just write songs.
There was one song in particular that the people in the Philippines really caught on to, and it was in there. And there was a video on Facebook. One day we woke up and it had 1 million views on it. We were like, we've never had 1 million views on a video before, like overnight. And it was like. Our Philippine group there just loved that song. So shout out to the Philippines.
Shout out to the Philippines. That's awesome.
I used to know a phrase that I would say, and now I forget it.
I don't remember it. I know what you're talking about.
Right? So forget me.
What is it about that music that crosses boundaries? What is it to you guys? What's it feel like when one of your songs blows up like that?
I think it's just I think it just shows that the emotional factor in a song is more important than anything else. The story behind the song, or what it means.
Mm-hmm. Universal human emotion, right? We all have the same feelings when you break it down. That's what makes classical music so enduring, is the fact that it's about universal human themes.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
And it's the same with a great song, a great singer-songwriter song. Who are some of each of your individual inspirations?
Oh man, I mean, the Beatles definitely started it for us.
Mm-hmm.
I would say the Beatles. But, I can go on and on.
We went heavy into a blues phase, I think.
Right.
We're definitely a lot of the blues legends influenced us.
Oh, yeah.
I mean, I know Andrew learned every B.B. King lick there is, probably.
Well, I don't know about that, but yeah.
I don't know.
But no, a lot of contemporary people too. We love, Ed Sheeran, John Mayer, Taylor Swift, Maroon 5, and Bruno Mars. But we really grew up on the classic stuff, like the Beatles, and I love Frank Sinatra and Ray Charles, Sam Cooke.
For me though, I mean, we can name all these people, but I feel like I'm more, I don't know about you actually, but I'm more of a song person where instead of a favorite artist, I'll have favorite songs from each artist. And not that I don't dig in like the Beatles or whatever, I'm digging into all the deep tracks, but I don't know. A lot of times I'll pick off my favorite songs from each artist and I'll have a conglomeration of stuff.
I do that too, but I also have favorite people for different reasons. When I'm listening to Sam Cooke, I'm all about his voice and trying to pick that apart. And, Ray Charles, just the, his soul, just um, and then if I'm listening to the Beatles, obviously song structure and um, I don't know. So for me, it's
And
different.
LSD.
And LSD and
Lucy in the Sky with Diamonds. Yep. I love how that we're all inspired by the musicians of the past. It's been like that forever, and they kind of pass it down generation to generation, and we kind of take those advances and go with it, and then we combine it with each of our own unique musicianship.
Yeah.
And I just love the way you guys craft songs. For you, how does the process work when there's two of you?
let me think. Well, it really depends. Like sometimes we'll just like sit down and say, let's write a song together,
Yeah.
do the whole thing from ground zero. But other times he'll have an idea and say, what do you think? And vice versa. And we'll, edit each other's music.
Yeah.
So it depends on the situation. So,
I mean, a lot of times we have like a little list of songs that we're working on individually.
oh
and
yeah. Yeah.
We'll think it's good enough to show the other one, and then like last night Andrew showed me a song and I was like, wow, this is like great, love the whole thing. I showed Andrew a song, he was like, oh, I love the verse, and I was like, oh, okay, I guess the chorus wasn't up to snuff on that one, but like it'll be something where we could talk about it and then try to like improve the idea.
Right.
So
Yeah.
we're honest with each other. I mean, I think that helps because when you're solo artists, I feel like you need to have that self-criticism enough to know where the good is and where the garbage starts, type of thing. And we have a good feedback loop where it's like nothing too bad gets through that.
But it's interesting making music with your sibling, right? That must be a real special thing.
Yeah. No, I mean, I think it goes back to, we're just not afraid to be blunt and stuff like that.
It's important to be honest, right? As you make music and you work together.
Oh, for sure.
Yeah. And I mean, there's something to how we kind of have a lot of very similar tastes in a lot of ways. And I think we can read where each other are going with a lot of ideas because of that. We kind of know, like, I don't know, just like the background of things that we're pulling from and what we're trying to do. So.
Right.
How has your songwriting style changed since you started years ago, a decade ago?
I think our what keeps changing is like, how can I make it as interesting as possible, like the whole time. We never, we're not interested in just like jamming out on songs that we put out. We're more interested in how can we keep this interesting and catchy as quickly as possible. That's kind of our goal.
And jam it out at the shows. I mean,
no, at the shows, yeah,
not like
sure.
Not a place for that.
No, there is. No, but on our recordings, we're just trying to stick to the, that singer-songwriter pop format where it's like, we want to be as catchy and as interesting as possible, as quickly as possible. Make sure that they don't skip the song. That's kind of our goal.
Very good.
As far as format, but in terms of the actual song, we want to just be honest and catchy. I don't know.
So what percentage of your time do you guys spend live performing versus in the studio?
What is it, you think?
I mean,
well, COVID kind of wiped it out, but with it, when you're not counting COVID, what were we doing, like 100 and something a year, 100 something shows?
Yeah, prior.
So, that would be like a third of the time we were doing a show.
Yeah, most of the days that we're doing a show, it's usually like an all-day affair type of thing.
Right. Yeah, you can't really
sound check, get the travel, sound check, setup.
Yeah, the whole thing.
Right.
The whole thing.
So, yeah.
So I would say like a third of the time was shows, and then I don't know.
A third of the time practicing our new stuff.
Right, practicing, and then
writing, and a third of the time recording.
Right.
Probably something like that.
Something like that.
That sounds about right. That's people don't see people only see you guys on stage or they see the video. They don't. That's like I always tell my students. It's like seeing me on the stage is like the iceberg above the water.
Oh yeah.
Most of the time is underneath the water is me practicing and studying at 3 a.m. and
yeah, exactly.
And doing budgets.
Yeah, I like that question you asked though about how's your songwriting changed from like when you started to now? That was your question, right?
Sure.
So for me though, I just wanted to say in some ways it's changed a lot but in some ways it's not changed at all. Like I'll pick up the guitar and I'll just like strum and hum
That's true.
and you think you know better, but at the end of the day, you pick it up and you're like, oh, I'm like back to nothing. I don't know anything again.
Yeah, I guess
type of thing,
I guess my answer applied more to the editing process. Once you get your melodies and your ideas and
because he's a great engineer now, so he thinks in terms of like
trimming the fat
and getting it onto the recording and stuff. But
right, but no, he's right though. In terms of just, you know, it's humming gibberish, you know, with a pop chord progression.
sometimes you feel cocky. You pick it up, you're like, I could write a great timeless song like "Hey Jude" today.
Yeah.
And then other times you pick it up, you're like, I don't know anything, even though I've written so many
Well,
songs.
a lot of times it's just luck that you just it's not luck in that, okay, yeah, I've learned the instrument and I've learned how to sing and how to construct a song, but it's just luck in that, okay, I'm playing these chords and I'm humming this melody that sounds pretty catchy. Sometimes that's just luck.
I think that's like,
and you never know the inspiration's going to hit, and you get something really unique and special. That's just luck too.
That is just luck. It is.
That's the challenge. I think that is at the core of what keeps me coming back. Anyway, it's just, you know, that point where you make something good, and because you can't do it every day.
No,
and it's like, why couldn't I do that before? But
you do have to show up to be lucky. Like, you do have to be trying to do something to be lucky, but to come up with something that's actually good, I feel like is luck. You know,
I agree. There's always that balance. Luck favors the prepared, is what I tell my students.
Exactly.
Yeah.
You can be as lucky as you want. If you're not able to get up there and actually produce, it's not going to go very far.
Something to it. Yeah, it's a push and pull there. But yeah, in some ways though, you feel like you're a lot more able to get the melodies out that you want to, the more that you're doing it and things like that. Other times you feel like, hey, I don't know anything that I did the day before. Songwriting is kind of like cool like that. But
I always wonder if I could sit there, you know, with the great artists, what were they thinking when they wrote this song? I think the same when I'm working on like a Beethoven score or a Mozart score. But like, how about like Jimi Hendrix when he was kind of reinventing guitar technique, or if Helen or the Beatles? Well, I wonder what they were like thinking at that moment. I wish I could kind of be a fly on the wall as these creative geniuses are making those innovations.
Right.
yeah. Well, you will be soon. You'll be able to be a fly on the wall in that Beatles documentary coming out. We're gonna be like,
oh, that's gonna be awesome.
Breaking the popcorn out for that one.
We could all learn a thing or two from those geniuses.
Yeah.
So, cool.
So you guys have some songs you're gonna play on the air. What would you like your first song to be?
Yeah, what do you want to do?
You want to do the latest song we put out, "Never Shall Let You Go"?
Sure.
So this is a song we put out on September 27th. It's called "Never Shall Let You Go." My head on the glass, you step on the gas without me. You're driving away, man, what did I say to you? Oh, I'm feeling the cold, don't wanna grow old without you. You say it's too late, there's nothing that I can do. Oh, and I know some things ain't meant to be. Never should've let you go. It's dark as night since I held you in my arms. I haven't seen the light. Never should've let you go. It don't feel right since I let you out my arms. I haven't seen the light. Now I'm looking back at the younger days of my youth. I was a lonely man till the day I went and found you. I wanted the world, so I let you go. But baby, the world without you ain't a place I wanna know. And you say it happened for a reason. Never should've let you go. It's dark as night since I held you in my arms. I haven't seen the light. Never should've let you go. It don't feel right since I let you out my arms. I haven't seen the light. Oh, oh, oh. I haven't seen the light. I haven't seen the light. Oh, since I let you out my arms. I haven't seen the light. Since I let you out my arms. I haven't seen the light. Since I let you out my arms. I haven't seen the light.
Thanks, guys. It's fantastic.
Oh, thanks so much.
Great song. There's a bluesy hook to it. It's got depth. It's got, yeah, I really enjoyed that. Thank you.
Thank you.
Awesome. Thanks so much. And you see me over here playing. Sometimes on the live streams, I get a little almost like the bass can't be heard with an actual bass, so I just play the acoustic.
Yeah.
But I'm typically the bass player, so I'm playing a bass line on the acoustic.
Gotcha. Yeah, we always have to make these adjustments on Zoom and with these kind of platforms, but appreciate that. So tell us about that song. What was the genesis of that song? How did you come up with it, and how long did it take to complete?
I think in terms of writing, I think it just took like a day for the basic like structure and like the melodies, and then the lyrics was probably the day after that. But yeah, no, it's
and that's when I wasn't really involved with. That's basically that's Andrew.
Well, yeah, no, I mean, like we said, it depends on the song and stuff
writing
like
wise, of course.
Right.
I'll come in and play the bass on that one.
Yeah, but I don't know.
I remember when you showed me it, and I was like, "Great song, I love it." And
Yeah.
I mean that's really it. I didn't have too much to say on that. I was like, "Great."
No, he liked it. Yeah.
Sometimes they just work, right? Sometimes it just kind of it makes sense. You put it together.
Sure.
Are some of the songs more like? What's the role of performance, like performing live, as you're writing songs? Do you bring them into your live gigs? Do you try them out? So a lot of people use the live performance as a crucible to kind of solidify their songs before they record them.
Yeah.
For sure, we definitely do that. We try to, we feel like if it works with just the two of us, then we have a good feeling it's going to work. Once we get the drums and the keyboards and all that in there.
And of course, we do a lot of gigs where we're only playing our songs, but then, like we were saying before we went on, we do a lot of gigs like weddings and birthdays and different things where, we could play for hours and hours at a time. So we'll oftentimes mix our own songs in with just like popular covers. And a lot of times, if people are just like jamming at the party, they hardly even notice it's our song. We're like, okay, they're still jamming, and they might just think it's a hit song, just like our favorite songs. That's a good one.
At least we hope so. Yeah.
At least we hope so.
It's a big compliment too.
You play a Sublime song, then you go into your song, and you're like, okay, they're still jamming, so this holds water. This is holding up. I don't know.
For sure.
That's awesome. And it's great that you guys are able to do the cover stuff and come back to yours, and sometimes you just do yours. I think it's when you look at some of the great bands, they started doing lots of covers. I was doing a thing on Van Halen. They started playing mostly covers, and then they started writing their own stuff around it.
Right.
Cool.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
They did 5 years of covers or something like crazy like that.
Oh, wow.
I didn't know that.
I think that's a great way to learn. It's just,
They said they played every party there possibly were, and they kind of grew their audience organically first by doing stuff like that.
Right.
That's awesome. That's awesome.
No, that's cool. Yeah, we do find ourselves, I think, just like playing our songs ahead of the release a lot of times. And
yeah.
That definitely gives us a good indicator of like, oh, well, we thought this was like something, but then we played it, didn't come off well, so maybe we won't record that one, or
right.
Maybe this other song got a good reception and consistently people are jamming, and we'll definitely feed off of that, I think. So
yeah, definitely.
That's awesome. So tell me what it's like. Your music started to be used in television shows, and it's gotten some real cross appeal. What was it like when the time that happened?
I think what was it?
I'll tell you the first time it happened. We should I just tell them the story about Dad?
Please do.
Oh yeah.
So we got I happened to be in college at the time, and I got a call from California, and I was like, I'm not answering that till after class, whatever. I don't know who that is. You think it's spam, whatever. And I had a voicemail, whatever. My dad called. So after the class, later on, I realized that we had gotten a call from Lionsgate and they offered us like 20 grand for like a placement, but it was due. Like we needed to let them know by end of day. Like sometimes these placements happen quickly with these deadlines.
Wow.
So I missed it. So my lesson at the end was don't go to class. That was my learning lesson.
Like never miss that call again.
But we have had, you know, songs in like some shows and stuff, and that's been cool. I think the one that felt the coolest for me is actually just when people hear our song in like Stop and Shop.
Oh, that's awesome. Yeah.
And we've had a bunch of people recently that just like have been like messaging us or texting us that like our song's playing in the supermarket, and they're like, oh wow, and they've tagged us in it, and I think that's been even cooler than having it in a TV show. Like
that's always cool, because it's cool when people, you know, like recognize a song in a
and they didn't expect it
in a supermarket,
like,
but it's also cool to know like, oh, that's still playing in the supermarket. You know what I mean? Like people that we don't even know are just.
So
like,
tell us how you get your music on those tracks that go to the supermarket. And
I wish I
never thought about that.
I don't know. I think it's just like a playlist, like a Stop and Shop playlist. They must have like a Spotify playlist going,
and they must have people that run those playlists, and maybe they liked one of our songs.
and they
like,
add it.
I wish we knew more, because we'd get more of our songs in there.
Yeah,
you know?
Yeah, because it's only that. I think it's only that one right now. First time
for our song, First Time.
I think we had another one in Dwayne Reed in the city. Good Enough for Me.
Good Enough for Me was playing in a bunch of
But
songs.
no, I wish we knew, because I would love to get more in there.
Yeah, if anyone knows listening, definitely reach out to us. But
Let's
we
get
have
you guys
had
more of those public places, right?
Yeah, no,
exactly.
That's the best.
But we have had some breaks where, like, you know, we get a placement in a show, and it's great. It's kind of cool.
Did you guys watch that episode of Keeping Up with the Kardashians?
The first one that we ever did was what, like 2014 or something like that.
Something like that.
I remember we had like popcorn, and we like.
Of course.
I think that was the first episode I ever watched that show. I was like, we're gonna wait for it.
It was
now I have an excuse to watch it.
Yeah, exactly.
Well, it was a scene where I think Courtney was giving birth in natural. It was a scene right after she gave birth, natural birth in a tub or something like that.
Okay, yeah.
And they were like on the way to the diner or something.
What?
And it was like the travel in between scenes type of thing. I don't know.
So random.
Something like that.
Hey, listen, you can't when they find a song they like and it fits the mood. Like, man, that's awesome.
You don't pick and choose.
You don't pick and choose. And there's been a couple of times where we didn't even know. Actually,
yeah.
You offer your songs to MTV sometimes, and then they kind of place it where they want to, or
right.
whoever it is. So then our friends kind of text us like, "Oh, did you see this? Your song's in there." It's like, I didn't even know. Yeah. So.
Right.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
So what does it mean to be an indie artist today? I call this the era of the indie artist, because there's unlimited, like, you know, you have so many platforms to put your music out there, and it seems like you guys have built a really big organic audience.
Thanks.
Yeah, no, I mean, to be an indie artist today, I think it just means you have to do everything. You know, I think we were saying this before the podcast, you know, you most people that are indie artists produce their own music, they're the video editors, and, you know, photographers, everything in between, which we do all that. So
media pitching.
I think you just have to do everything pretty much. You know what I mean?
Songwriting.
You have to be your own manager. And
so tell us how you guys split the responsibilities.
I mean, recently Andrew's been a great live show booker. He's just been going out, bringing the money in and getting shows booked.
Yeah.
A lot of times, I don't know. I think we just both have an eye on our email, and whoever can get to it first type of thing.
Right.
And we'll text each other, be like, "Oh, I can't get to this like today or tomorrow. Can you help out with this?"
Right.
So.
And like, you know, we were saying before the show, like Matt's fiance Tatiana, she helps out with filming the videos and taking pictures, and like, you know, her and Matt set up our whole online shop. And that was like a month project that they were just, you know, in his apartment, constantly setting everything up with all the, you know, everything to sell and all the items.
ComoBrothers.shop.
I was just going to say, how do people find out more about that merch that we're mentioning here?
ComoBrothers.shop, and there's like backpacks with our face on it, and like some various shirts and stuff. So
yeah, everything in between. So, you know, they were doing that over there, and then I was in here, you know, producing stuff that we were going to put out. So we kind of split it up that way.
We all know that streaming is not the way that artists earn a full-time living these days.
No.
That merch directly supports the artist, correct?
Definitely. 100%.
Well, depending on which merch you get, actually, because
Okay.
we have inventory on some shirts in there, which is great. And then, actually, there's a new thing called print on demand. I don't know if you've heard about this,
I
but
have not.
so basically, you don't even need to hold inventory of your own merchandise with this kind of like new trend here. You design like a shirt, let's say, and a customer orders, and it prints as they order.
Wow.
And so the company takes a bigger cut than if you actually like own the whole shirt. You make 100% of the profit, but even though you make a lot less kind of thing, your fans get a lot more selection in the merch you can offer, because we don't have like a warehouse to store like a million different things. But you check our website out, there's like so many options. I think our fans appreciate that. So that's kind of the angle we took with merch.
That's interesting. It's amazing how the market changes so fast.
Yeah.
So did you have any idea when you first started that you'd be getting this many listens and plays and booking shows and recording? And what's it like?
I mean, I think it's just been so gradual that we're just always trying to, get to the next step and push this a little further. So, we definitely don't take anything for granted. And we're, really grateful for everything that we've gotten so far. And we're just always looking forward, though. So I don't think we're ever really like,
I mean, there was one year I was surprised, definitely. Like, we had 30,000. It was a few years ago. We had 30,000 streams on Spotify for the year, and then there was a year. The next year, it went to 330.
Right.
And I was like, we didn't do anything different. Like,
Yeah.
why is there so many more streams?
Sometimes it just takes time for the audiences to catch up, right? They finally discover it, then it starts the viral thing, and it just takes time.
And I feel like this year we've had so much more traction with people streaming and sharing and stuff, and I'm just like, I'm kind of curious what that like end number is going to be at this year. So it's kind of cool. Yeah.
COVID has forced us, so many people to experience streaming more because there was so much less live music.
Yeah.
What was COVID like for you guys? To take us through the process. I know for me, it grounded all my orchestral performances. My guest conducting in Europe was shelved. Everything went remote. It was such a trying time for all artists. What was it like for you guys?
Well, the lack of live shows was definitely a bummer, but I think it gave us a chance to really hone in on, the writing and the producing and the recording for us to get something out every 4 weeks.
Yeah, definitely.
Especially during that time, we were like, really pumping it out.
We were really, I think we really had time to focus on making a new live set, writing our songs, and we took that type of angle. We stayed positive about it and stuff like that. And then this year in June, it just started to pick back up, and we're happy to be back out playing. So.
Oh yeah.
What was the first show like? I know for me it was I did a Beethoven 5 this summer. I did a Pops concert in Long Island at the Tilla Center, and then I did a serious Beethoven concert, and each one was like amazing. Just to have the audience up there again and have my players in front of me, it was very emotional. What was it like for you guys?
Sure, we've done Tilla Center a few times, so we know that venue. That's cool.
Well, just like the first time being back.
Well, I remember it was at that we played a country club actually, so they hired us to do like this private gig for a country club, and we looked at each other like, wow, this kind of like.
Oh yeah.
It's kind of been a while. It's been weird.
Right. No, it was definitely weird the first time back. It was, it felt like
dust the set off a bit.
Yeah, the first time after
I think we hadn't done it in like 8 to 10 months, right?
Something like that.
Something like that.
Yeah. No, it definitely felt weird the first time. But no, it was fun to be back, and I don't know.
Back to work, business as usual. Yeah, well, it's great to be back up there. I know performers but have you been doing steady stream performances as well? You said you were producing a song a month. That's a lot.
Right.
But what's it like? And were you doing like stream performances every week, every other week?
Well, I don't think it was every week, but
no, we were.
No, you're right.
We totally were.
Well, I'm thinking of like
not now.
I'm thinking of third party. No, like with third parties inviting us to come on to play for their venue was maybe a couple times a month. But we were doing live streams on like Facebook once a week and stuff like that.
And we created this private group, like this Facebook group. Who some of you might be tuning in now. I'm not sure. I can't see the counts or anything, but. Where we did live streams once a week, and we don't do it now, but we kind of should because it was fun and everyone was commenting, and having a good old time.
Yeah, it's fun. The live streaming thing has been such an important way for during COVID for all our audiences to keep together, to keep communities together, to keep people positive. Because where would we be without streaming, like without Spotify and Netflix and all those places that people can experience the art? It would have been a much darker time.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, definitely.
No, for sure.
You know what I'm thinking?
What?
There's another song I want to play for you too. If you
Bring it.
Which one?
Street Corner.
Sure.
You want to do it? If you don't mind, I don't want to.
No, bring it. I love the more music, the better.
So this song, we're kind of finishing recording right now, and it's gonna be coming out when? Do you know?
Probably late November.
Late November. Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah. So this one's called Street Corner Singing. We'll do one chorus at the end.
Yeah.
Cool.
Yeah.
All right, let's do it. Too much love is put off till tomorrow. Too much fighting is for today. I'll be sitting here singing my song, and I hope you know I wanted you to stay. If you're straight gonna sing, baby, that's alright. If you're gone in the morning, I'll be holding on tight. If you want me to say you love me just fine, tell me that you love me at night. After all this time, I've come to my senses, and all the wrongs have turned to right. I hear you calling, but I'm not looking for the answers. I'm throwing all of them away. If you're straight gonna sing, baby, that's alright. If you're gone in the morning, I'll be holding on tight. If you want me to say you love me just fine, tell me that you love me at night. Street corner singing, street corner singing, baby, street corner singing with me. Street corner singing, street corner singing, baby, street corner singing with me. Oh, oh, oh. If you're straight gonna sing, baby, that's alright. If you're gone in the morning, be holding on tight. If you want me to say you love me just fine, tell me that you love me, won't you love me at night? Oh, 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 I'll be straight corner singing, baby. Oh, 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 singing with me. Oh, oh, singing with me. Oh, 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 singing with me. Oh.
Great song, great hook, funky. I love it.
Thanks so much. Yes, that's Street Corner Singing.
That's going to come out in the next couple of weeks.
That's probably late November. Probably about
Late
a month.
November. Okay,
Yeah.
Oh, really?
about a month.
Street
So
corner,
how do
yeah.
people find out more about you guys? How can they see what's coming up next? Where should they go to find out more about the Como brothers?
You could follow us on Instagram, como.brothers. We're on TikTok. We're trying to keep updated on there too. That's just at Como Brothers. And Facebook is good too. Our website, comobrothers.com.
Yeah.
COMO.
And I recommend everyone go out there and support the artists that create the music, the people you enjoy. It means a lot, especially indie artists. They spend so much time putting this together, and you can tell these guys are working around the clock to make this music happen.
For sure.
Thank
No,
you.
and thank you for the platform and and the plugs and everything like that. We appreciate it.
No, it's awesome.
Well, when I hear artists I like, I said, you know what, I want to promote them as much as I can. I think you guys are doing great work. And when next time you're performing live? What's the next couple concerts?
We're gonna be playing at in Bayshore on Long Island, Fire Island Vines. It's October 22nd. It's a Friday from 6:30 to 9:30.
Awesome.
Yeah, so if you're around, come down. Great.
Give it a try.
Great.
Thank you guys for joining us here on Music Matters, and continued success.
Thanks so much.
Thank
We
you so
appreciate it.
much.
Have a great night.
You too.
All right, you too.
Thank you for joining us on Music Matters with Jason Tramm. Please remember to subscribe and smash that bell icon for the most up-to-date information on upcoming guests and topics. Thank you so much for being here tonight, and remember, keep music alive.